Did you feel like there were some things that you got exposed to spiritually?
Yeah, I mean, when I go back to the States and I share with people what I do, they often will say, oh wow, you must have like seen demon-possessed people every day of the week or something, and definitely that's not the case at all. I think, maybe we've had a couple of experiences with people we felt were demonized in 30 years here in Cambodia, in terms of like having someone whose, voices that they're speaking that are not their own, type physical manifestations like that, But in terms of feeling like there's a spiritual bondage going on around you, I think it's much more evident here than and again, it's in the States. I think it still exists. Like you said, it's still there. But because maybe Satan's working in a different way there, he kind of keeps himself hidden and you just don't sense it, you don't feel it, because he's happy for people just not to believe in him. Mm-hmm. But here, I mean, it's just so obvious sometimes. You just see things and you feel, and there's a discernment, I guess, in my heart where I feel like that there's something spiritual going on in a lot of situations. It can be simple things. It can be things as simple as you're in the middle of sharing the gospel or preaching a sermon and everything goes wrong, like the power goes off, the microphone doesn't work, the storm comes, it's so loud that nobody can hear you, right at a key moment, things like that. Or it can be more just you meet people who, you just sense there's something going on in their heart that's not as dark. There's a darkness there.
Yeah. Sometimes I kind of see a lot of it in the unforgiveness with family members. Yeah. And then there's something that's just so
strongholds that just won't give up in people. And it's interesting, but I remember one of the things I learned in Cambodia is that I would, I had a time with God every day before I came to Cambodia as kind of a spiritual discipline.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, I can do this and I'd be okay if I missed it or whatever. But, for a few days or whatever. When I came to Cambodia, it became a survival tactic. It's like, I felt like if I didn't have time with God every morning, I literally wouldn't make it through that day.
So like, what do you feel would happen on those days? Yeah.
Well, again, I felt like it was attacks, and that somehow, you're putting on the armor of God. You're like preparing your mind, getting your mind renewed. You're asking for help from God, and you're depending on Him, not your own strength.
That's so
and so you can go in the day and things that wouldn't have had victory over you. Things won't have victory over you that would have otherwise if you prepared yourself well.
If you enjoyed that podcast clip, then you can click there for the full episode. Go for it. Peace.